So it's no secret that RJ Hampton's draft stock has taken a bit of a toll since going over to New Zealand and playing for the Breakers. So in this video, we're going to be talking about RJ Hampton, what I think about him, and the truth about his game and how it projects in the NBA. Regardless, if you guys like these kind of videos, make sure you go ahead and like it up and of course subscribe. Of course, on this channel, we do a lot of basketball and sports content, whether it's with 2K or just talking about the NBA. And with all of these, you guys already know, I'm trying to start a discussion. So let me know what you guys think about RJ Hampton, where you guys see him going in the NBA draft, which team, and just give me a brief scouting report about him in the comment section below. Smash that like button, comment, and of course, subscribe and turn on post notifications. And you guys can follow me on Twitter at LegendaryEA. I interact a lot on there. But other than that, let's get straight into this video. Let's get it. So to start off this video, we got to give RJ Hampton his props, because even though a lot of people credit LaMelo Ball for starting this surge in prospects looking to not go to the NCAA and gets credit for what the G League is doing now, people don't know that that really belongs to RJ Hampton. And yes, I know other players have played overseas like Brandon Jennings, Emmanuel Mudiay, and a bunch of other draft prospects from America. However, RJ Hampton was the first one to do it without any controversy. He's the first one to actually do it by choice, because he was actually a really good student, and unlike LaMelo, he was not ineligible, but he was the first one to go over and play in the NBL for the New Zealand Breakers. So we always got to start out by giving him a lot of props. Regardless, man, we're here to talk about RJ Hampton and all the reports saying that he's probably going to slide and be taken between the 11th and 22nd pick in the 2020 NBA draft. And that's kind of crazy looking back at it, because whenever he made his announcement to even go over to New Zealand, he was projected as the 5th overall pick. But a lot has changed in that time, but I still think that he could be a very, very valuable asset to a lot of NBA teams. So coming out of high school, RJ Hampton was ranked as the 5th player in the nation according to 24/7 Sports, and the second combo guard right behind Cole Anthony. At that time, they actually compared him to Spencer Dinwiddie. He's a 6'4", 6'5" guard who's a great finisher, a great ball handler, a great playmaker, and a quality defender as well. So we go over to his New Zealand Breaker stats, and you look at those and they don't look all that amazing at the first glance, where he only averages about 8 points, 2 assists, and he shoots about 41% from the field and nearly 30% from the three. And it makes you think, oh wow, maybe he's not actually that good. But in my honest opinion, I do believe that RJ Hampton is more of a project type player, and that's not even a slight at him at all. I still think that he could end up being a really, really good player in the future. I just think that right now he is somebody that needs to land in the right situation, and he's going to take a few years to actually develop. Now, looking at his stats, it makes it seem like he was not good at all for the Breakers, but this is pro basketball, which is why I always say I do believe that eventually we will get to a point where a lot of players will start coming out of high school and just foregoing the NCAA. But for a lot of them, they honestly need it, because the NCAA is still a step down from pro basketball, which is why we've seen players like Terrence Ferguson, Brandon Jennings, Mudiay all really struggle there. Like, this is not an easy thing at all, which is why it's a testament to really how good LaMelo was to actually go over there and up his draft stock. But playing overseas, playing pro basketball is always going to be more difficult than playing in the NCAA, and that's one of the biggest knocks that a lot of these prospects are going to really have. So I really hope that that works out for Jalen Green and Isaiah Todd, because that could potentially cost them money in the future if it doesn't work out. But looking at RJ Hampton, if you really think about it, he really wasn't all that bad. It's just the level of competition was such a significant increase from what he played in high school, and even if he would have went to college. I'm pretty sure if he went to UT, Duke, or any of those other schools, he would have put up way better numbers than that. But to keep this video very, very short, the truth is, I think that RJ Hampton is a project type point guard who can really benefit from going to a team where he isn't initially their savior or anything. So whenever I see him potentially going somewhere between 11 and 22, some teams that I think of are teams like the San Antonio Spurs. I think of the New Orleans Pelicans. I think of the Minnesota Timberwolves. I think of the Boston Celtics. I think of maybe him going back home and going to Dallas to potentially be the Mavericks' future starting point guard. All of this comes into mind because I still think that he can be a really good defender once he gets into the NBA. I think that he can turn into a really solid playmaker, and I think that he can really improve his jump shot as well. He already has a lot of good traits about him, and we honestly saw flashes of it last season whenever he was playing in the NBL. The biggest problem for him is really his consistency. He's really inconsistent. You see a lot of flashes of him being a really top 10 level player, but then sometimes you're like, bro, what is he doing out there? But at the end of the day, I do think that RJ Hampton, I don't think he sucks at all. A lot of people overreact to a lot of this, but at the end of the day, I do believe that if he lands in the right situation, I think that he can turn into a really good player. And honestly, them comparing him to somebody like Spencer Dinwiddie is a really good player comp, because even Dinwiddie took a little bit of time to actually adjust to the NBA, and look at how good he actually is now. But as always, guys, I really want to hear what you guys think about RJ Hampton in the comment section below. To me, I think talent-wise, potential-wise, I would hope that he ends up on the Mavericks sometime. Now, maybe that requires him to actually slide in the draft a little bit, but out of all of the options in the first round, I think that's the best one. San Antonio is just lockjawed with too many guards on the roster. Maybe Washington at pick 9 could actually work out, because at least in Washington, he can actually learn a little bit. They aren't going to really call on him to be their savior immediately. Phoenix, I think that him having Devin Booker would actually be a really good plus. They do need a point guard, and I do think that the Phoenix Suns are heading into a better position, and I'd really like to see Hampton, Booker, and DeAndre Ayton. That would be fun. But if he wants to actually get into a positive situation to actually learn, maybe a team like Boston, yeah, long term he might be their starting point guard after Kemba Walker. That might take time, but at least he gets to actually learn. He's not being pushed to actually start. Another team, like I said, is Dallas, and Dallas is a team that he could take Brunson's starting spot sooner than later. And pretty much they have a guard set of him and Luka, and then they have Kristaps in the front court as well. That could be a really dangerous team as well. And I mean, other than that, I wouldn't want to go to any of the other teams. But anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think about this video. Like it up, and of course, subscribe. This was a shorter video, but I really just want to hear what you guys think about it. Let me know how you guys value RJ Hampton. How good do you guys think he is? Where you guys think he's going to be going in the draft? I think if I was to put out a list, I would rank him somewhere in my top 15 prospects, around there. He would definitely be around like 13-ish, maybe 11. I think that he's definitely going to be a project type player, but he still has insane upside. That's what I think. But other than that, you guys, make sure to go ahead and like up this video, and of course subscribe. Check out all my other videos on this channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out. Peace, y'all.